golden rule, in case anybody's wondering, I was kind of worried with using this. The very first time I used gold leaf, I was kind of worried that when I put a wax over it, that it was going to dull it. It does a little bit, but not too much. I actually like it a little less shiny. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So the golden rule, if you guys are doing furniture, any kind of finishing piece or whatever, if you do decide to use wax, wax should always be last. Like I said, you can use a polyacrylic, you can put wax over a polyacrylic or any kind of sealant. Usually I use Big Top from DIY Paint, but they're kind of backed up with COVID, hence why I ended up using like the Dixie Belle Boss on this piece as like a pre-sealant for bleed through. So you can literally polyacrylic everything or put on another one of those water-based sealants and you're fine, and then you can do the wax over. What you do not want to do is do wax first. Wax first, it just kind of defeats the purpose because most sealers are water-based, and I think everybody kind of knows how well wax and water mix. Not very well. If you do a piece and you do put something, or you wax something and you're like, oh my God, I didn't want to do that, I want to add this or I want to add that, that's fine. Don't panic. It's not a crisis. You can sand back just with a sander. You can sand back the wax to kind of get that off your piece, and then add whatever you need to and then re-wax over. It's totally fine, totally doable. I've done it. But yeah, just as a rule of thumb, wax always goes last. So as you can see, I'm just kind of wiping back the wax from the high points. It's gonna leave it in all these little low points and make it look a little aged. Yeah, you guys can see that okay, can't you? I was gonna do a live. I'm still feeling a little vulnerable. I did have my finger on the button, but then I kind of freaked out last minute. So eventually one of these days I will do a live. I'll be able to answer your guys' questions. Like I said, my friend Amanda does her YouTube lives for her makeup and stuff, and I kind of envy her. She's slowly, I don't even think she realizes this, but she's slowly building my courage to do one. My anxieties just won't let me, like this video, because I can just delete it and not even show any of you if I feel like I look or sound whatever. Yeah, just kidding. I post it anyway. I feel like I need some music up in here. Yeah, I have an issue with my internet. It doesn't reach all the way out here, which sucks, because usually I'd be listening to my Pandora or my Amazon Music, something like that, but I can't record a video or take pictures or anything like that while I'm doing that. And I also have to use my data anyway, because my internet doesn't reach out here. We tried an internet extender, but I am not tech savvy at all. I'm pretty sure I actually repel technology. So we tried that and it didn't work. So usually we have the radio, but I did not turn it on. So if you're bored, just hum. Or you can keep scrolling, either one. Yeah, I got it. All the way down. So yeah, just a shout out to Amanda. Like I said, she does unique makeup. She does an awesome job. Add her. You can watch her tutorials and she shows you how to do everything. She's really cool, laid back, and breaks everything down, and shows you how to apply makeup and different techniques and the different products, and the products are absolutely amazing. Let's see, my friend Laura Ann, she just opened up her shop as well, doing fantastic eyebrows. So I'm super excited. And Laura, don't kill me, but I just had the name of your, name of your business on the tip of my tongue, and now I spaced it. So if you see this, put it in the comments. But Laura also does an amazing job with brows and makeup and all that fun stuff. Natasha Everson, I need to come see you as well. I told her I was going to come see her at the Nest a couple weeks ago. I'm sorry, Natasha, I didn't make it to buy her candles. She sells Velvet Couch candles. She makes them at home, and she has an adorable little helper named Violet who helps out sometimes as well. But her candles smell amazing, guys, and they last forever, and they're 2-wick, and I can't say more about them, and I definitely need to get some more from her. They're reasonably priced as well, and I will be honest, I would choose her scents and her candles over Yankee any day. Yankees have kind of always been my favorite, but her candles freaking rock, and you can, I mean, smell them all through the house. It's just awesome. I feel like we need to just start like a small community, ladies. Like open up one big shop with all of our gifts and talents. Sell candles and refinish furniture and makeup and do your eyebrows while you're there, right, Laura? Be freaking sweet. Okay, so I think I've covered this pretty well. Doing some of these creases. Just so you guys know too, I've mentioned this in other videos as well, but you always want to lay a base, like I said, the polyacrylic or even the clear wax before you do any kind of dark wax or decrepit powder, mainly because if I were to put this, like say here where I haven't polyacrylic or white wax, there's no base on it, it's going to make that very, very, very dark. So at least when you lay down a base like this, as you guys could see, then you can wipe it back and make it as dark or as light as you want. If you pull too much back, just apply more. But just like that. And say you left the black wax on too long and it's too dark, you can always go back over it with the clear wax, and it almost kind of works like an eraser. So just dab a little bit of, I'll show you. I'll just show you. Clear wax. Get it right in there. Pretty much takes it right off. But I don't want to do that, so I'm gonna, here we go. But yeah, so that's another good reason to apply a clear wax or polyacrylic. It wipes away better, I think, with clear wax as a base than it does polyacrylic, but part of that reason too is the polyacrylic does dry pretty fast. So you have to move quick, you have to work in sections when you do that. You couldn't do this with the polyacrylic because it would be dry. The base coat would be, and it'd be, what am I talking about? You want the polyacrylic to dry first. My point is that I feel like the wax, that's where I was going for some reason, I feel like it hardens faster on the polyacrylic. That's what I meant to say. So it doesn't wipe back as easily as it would, at least in my experience, as it would over a clear wax. Kind of debated even throwing some white wax on here too to kind of soften it up a little bit, but I don't know. What I like to do is I'll do this and then I'll take a bunch of pictures, post them on Facebook so you guys can see. But then I literally will sit and drive myself crazy and I will analyze them. And then I'll say, ooh, that little area I gotta fix. It's easier to take a step back sometimes or even walk away from the piece. Look at some pictures, because you'll see things in the pictures that you didn't see when you're right here and it's right in your face that you may want to tweak. Or even sometimes happy accidents happen where I'm like, oh, I kind of, like I said, like here, I kind of like the look that it's dark right here, and lighter in the middle. Whether I'm going to stick with that, I'm not sure yet, but you know, I didn't realize it until I actually looked at the pictures, even though it was right in front of my face. So that's another tip I would give you. Take pictures, walk away. Give yourself like a half hour, whatever. Look at the pictures with fresh eyes. And then come out and tweak whatever you want to tweak, add whatever you want to add. So I don't like these harsh lines. See how I'm rubbing down? And it's leaving some areas a little more bare than I want them. So I'm just kind of making sure I'm getting in all these areas first. And then I'm gonna go back through with the dark wax brush and then just gently kind of sweep over where I want some more darkness. And play. I mean, that's what I do with most of my pieces. I just play. I will have a picture in my head. I don't like to plan stuff. I'm a very sporadic, last minute person. And plus too, if I have something in my head, I strive to have that perfection of what I pick, and it never ends up that way. Same with if you find, like other friends of mine who have done this, like, yeah, find pieces on Pinterest or on Google or whatever that you're like, oh, I really like that, I want to copy that. Don't expect to copy it. I mean, things are gonna happen, and don't strive for that perfection. It's just, I don't know. I mean, some people can master it. I personally don't, but I always tell people, don't overthink. Don't try to make it just like that picture. You know, make it your own too, which is kind of a good piece of advice I keep telling myself too, is make this my own. But find your inspiration pieces. Strive to kind of do what you see, but make changes, and don't be bummed out if it doesn't look like that. I don't know, maybe that's my anxiety brain. Always expect the worst, plan for a worst case scenario. It very well could be that too. But I find happy mistakes often happen too when you are trying to copy something and it doesn't go as planned. Then you're like, oh, well, I kind of like this anyway. So if any of that babble just made sense. So just kind of checking this out. Okay. When you wipe back your wax too, you always want to make sure you rotate your cloth or whatever, because if I keep rubbing over here, I'm just going to be spreading the dark wax. So kind of want to flip it too, so you have a more clean piece that'll wipe it back. Sorry for my awkward weird pauses, or maybe you're thankful that I'm not chatting as much, I don't know, but just checking this out. I mean, you do have a little time to play with it. Usually wax takes, I usually let it cure overnight, but it can take, you know, 24, 48 hours to fully harden and cure. So you have a little time to kind of play with it. It's a dark wax brush, and like I said, I'm just kind of coming through, and there are spots where I feel like I took off a little too much wax. Ooh, I kind of like, see, happy accident. I kind of like how I rubbed that, and it's a little darker. Oh, here comes one of the kids. Yeah, babe. Yeah, so I think I'm actually happy with this. Hallelujah.